Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, also in the witness protection plan. And as always, want to wish you a very happy, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday early evening. I am still severely jet lagged. I am still very much underslept. But you know what? I think it's time for just a quick update. I'm gonna be keeping these evening videos a little bit on the shorter side, just focusing on more short-term and medium-term type price action. Keep the weekends for the long-term price action, and keep the live streams for more just, I suppose, well, talking, I suppose. Anyways, as always, we got plenty to talk about with Bitcoin since this morning stream, because Bitcoin has been kind of edging towards the top side of the range that we spoke about. So with all of that in mind, I do want to wish you well. I do want to wish you the best, the happiest of the happiest, as we say. And you'll notice that I'm still streaming on my mobile computer, still streaming with about 15% of my setup, or what I really want to have going on right now. I'm told that my main computer will come tonight in about a couple hours. So hopefully, if you keep the fingers crossed. Otherwise, my God, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just probably gonna end up buying a new computer, man. Anyways, with all of that said, let's get into live scene right now. And as always, wish you the best, and let's initiate that good old teleportation. And I'll see you in the live scene. And that's not Bitcoin. That's my Durbit positions. Anyways, I suppose we can talk about this for a second. I am still holding all my longs. I have no reason to let go of these. We spoke about this during the morning's video. As long as we remain above about 12,100 pivot, I don't see any need to de-risk. Even if we got below there, I wouldn't necessarily like take positions off. I wouldn't go back to neutral. I just de-risk a little bit. Anyways, onto the actual charts right on over here, and I do see that daily on Bitstamp looking pretty damn good, and we are about 1 hour away from the daily total close, about an hour and 12 minutes. So what does that mean, and why is this, and why did I kind of pick this time? Well, the reason why I'm picking this time is that a lot of the time you will see, if that's not redundant enough, a lot of the time you'll see a lot of price action about an hour to an hour and a half before the daily total close. And what that typically is it's both the bulls and the bears posturing to take control of that daily total close. Now, I would say that this shows that bulls are pretty much in full control right now. From the higher time frame perspective, we do see Bitcoin above all major moving averages. We do see daily oscillators pointed back up. We do see daily Stokes crossing back up to the upside, again, defending against the bearish control zone. We do see that each and every time that we've actually gotten a bullish cross for the past 6 months, ever since the macro trend switched around to the upside, those upwards crosses have been extremely powerful, just like the bearish crosses in the bear market during 2018 were extremely powerful as well. Now it's kind of, the script is flipped, right? And with Bitcoin approaching kind of this last sort of swing high right here, or local high, you could say, and actually taking out this prior local high in the early morning hours, that to me says that we're likely to see this one have follow through. So we have momentum oscillators, the good old chicken tennies oscillators saying that price action is likely to follow through to the upside. We also do see daily RSI actually taking out the exponential to the upside as well. So this is actually a two-way view of looking at it, and I like both these things. So first and foremost, with the RSI, we do see just oscillation between the bullish control zone and the neutral zone. This is why I've been saying that this consolidation is likely a bullish consolidation, likely to be resolved to the upside. But we're also noticing something else now too as well. We're seeing not only the daily Stokes cross back up to the upside right here as of the 7th, so it's a couple days ago. But if we go on over to our RSI, we're seeing that this is actually confirming above the exponential as well, happening on the 8th. So to me, that is a big deal, because we're seeing these things confluence with each other, and not only that, but the RSI showing that we have plenty of room, the Stokes also showing that we have plenty of room. So both from a trending and also a ranging perspective, things are looking good as we approach the top side of the overall price action range. And we've seen a similar setup to this actually multiple times over the past 4, 5, 6 months. The last time that we saw was right over here, when we saw daily Stokes cross the upside from a little bit deeper into the bearish control zone right here on the 10th of June. And we do see a similar reaction on the RSI 1 day later on the 11th. I actually have to keep my what the fuck is going on here, man? I actually have to keep my my phone alive right now, because I am awaiting that call, hopefully. But looking at the RSI right here, taking out the exponential about a day or two later on the 11th or 12th. So leading up for a massive move all the way from about $8,000 price per Bitcoin all the way to, almost $14,000 price per Bitcoin. And of course, the actual time before that, where we had a similar setup was right here on the 1st of May. And that was when those Stokes were crossing up. And then we saw a very similar reaction on the RSI. The RSI taking out the exponential right here, working its way up into the bullish control zone. And that was a massive girthy green dildo going up all the way from about $6,000 price per Bitcoin all the way to almost $9,000. So $3,000 move here, about a $6,000 move here. And what are we looking at right here right now? Well, we don't necessarily know just yet, but I would say that historically speaking, this does line up for overall good things. Anyways, I am seeing on the lower time frames we're kind of coming down. We just actually ticked down about $100, about $100 at today's current price range, completely fine. You just see that we have actually just come back down and retested the yellow 21. So let's actually spend some time here. And actually, before we get into that, we're actually seeing this perfect perfectly hand in hand right now. Just everyone join hands and watch the price action and sing kumbaya to each other, because what we're looking at right now is these dips are being bought up extremely fast. So if you've been watching this price action for the past, I mean, if you've been watching it for the past 6 months, but especially even the past half day, you've seen all these wicks come down to this region and get bought up almost immediately. And that is a damn good indication that, well, the trend is still your friend and the trend is very much to the upside. So what is it telling you? It's basically telling you that it's kind of in BTFD mode. I mean, the bots and algos are on the buy side and they're getting more and more aggressive as time goes on. I mean, that's essentially what you get with, with rising bottoms, right? You're just getting more aggressive buying. But this is even getting, more and more and more intense as we look at it onwards and over right here. So you just saw another quick wick down, about $100 move down top to bottom on this, a little bit more than $100 moves actually on this current hourly dildo, but just coming back down and testing the red 10 simple, and then boom, right back on up, just gets bought back on up really, really fast. And well, that is typically a good sign. So I do think it's worth talking about this just because, we're seeing all the corollaries between all these different time frames really line up with each other. Now I'm going to put on the drawing tools and kind of go over the ranges that we were speaking on during this morning's video. And you will notice this lower blue box territory right here, gathering all these wicks perfectly. I mean, the first one down on that, in the first initial dump, I was actually asleep for this one, but I was awake, and I believe that we watched this one together on this dump right here, testing the low side of this blue box territory right around 12,150-ish region, and then we just had one more recently, a wick back down to about 12,300-ish or 12,200-ish region down around here, and they're all just getting bought back on up. So to me, this is actually kind of just wedging itself up into this region, and this is really to be interpreted as a bullish consolidation. Like I said, I would de-risk and I would kind of switch around a little bit if we do actually take out this the lower end of this blue box territory, 12,150 to the downside. I don't think that that's what's happening here though. This looks good to me. This is powerful price action, powerful Bitcoin, powerful girthy green dildos, and my God, these very smart bears who are shorting this bitch, well, get ready for the shish kebabs because they are very, very fun, as all the bulls know from 2018. So it's your turn now, baby. And of course, as always, don't want to be in the bull gang, don't want to be in the bear gang, want to be in the trader gang, at least from my perspective, because both gangs get both gangs get wrecked. I mean, more often than not, price action is just ranging, and price action also changes as well. I mean, we're basically in a fucking war. We're looking at a war zone where we have the bulls on one side and the bears on another side. And you can join. You've now been recruited to the bull and bear war. The thing is you're a mercenary, and you can literally pick and switch on to any side at any god-given time. And well, when one side looks like they're winning, you should go. Probably best to go on with them. But we probably do have, there's probably like some counter thinkers, around who think, man, I feel bad for those bears, or like in 2018, I feel bad for those poor bulls. I think I'm gonna be a buyer too. Well, the thing is that they don't give a fuck about you, man. So it's like everyone's only talking their own book anyway. Right? And I really hope that I don't do that myself, but I know that it's just our intrinsic human nature programming that, when I'm long, I'm probably going to be representing my thoughts as bullish. Although there's certainly been examples where, I've been long and I haven't been bullish, or I've been short and I haven't really been bearish. But overall, hey, what's up? Who is that? Who is that? Is that Mark? Hey, what's up, Mark? Good to meet you, Mark. Welcome to the K, my friend, and pleasure to meet you. But at the end of the day, my point is that both gangs get wrecked. Trader gang is the one to be in, and in most of those gangs, they don't even give a fuck about you to begin with. They're just, just in it for themselves. It becomes more of an identity rather than like a legitimate analysis. Like people, like if you join the perma bull gang or the perma bear gang, it's an identity thing. It's like an ego thing rather than an actual like, oh, I've looked at my technical analysis. I've looked at my indicators here, and it's telling me to go long. No. It's usually more of an idea. It's like anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent. So let's get back onto the tangible shit. So we're right in the middle of these two ranges right here. I do think that we break this to the upside. I do think that we give a test to this blue box territory here at 12.8 and probably do break it to the upside. This looking constructive to me. It's kind of shaping itself into be a little bit of a consolidation triangle coming off a nice move to the upside. So to me, this is this is likely to have continuation. Looking at our hourly oscillators, we do see actually hourly Stokes back up and onwards. So this is why during the morning's video, I was saying that we were likely to get a pullback because we were seeing the hourly and 2 hour and 3 hour and 4 hour all coming down. And we actually still do see the 2 hour Stokes coming down. But that's why I was looking for a pullback during the morning's video and why I said it was likely to come back down to this region. Now, I think that, you can see them slowly but surely get smoothed out. And then over time, they get reset. And as long as Bitcoin holds this region right here, I'd say that this is extremely likely to get, picked up to the upside. And also, of course, I do think it's appropriate to look at the 12 hour right here. The 12 hour is a very easy way to trade, actually. The 12-hour right here offers up a very, 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 very simplistic view, but it's completely valid. And this is, this is one way to do it. And we do see the low of this prior 12-hour diddle right here. That is a pivot on the market now. You do see, and it's kind of lining up with this local high right here. So I do like the confluences there. So that tells me that, hey, if I wanted to play a position, like perhaps a more long-term position, I could be using this as a pivot to manage risk on. And again, it doesn't guarantee that this is 100% guaranteed, to work out. There's no such thing as that. But what it is guaranteed to do, it's not guaranteed to do anything. But what it does offer up is a good way to kind of manage risk on. As I know that the second that we go below there, it's extremely likely that we go much lower. Well, not much lower, but I'd say 11,500 extremely likely after that. So about a $500, $600 move, and then we kind of reassess from there. But even then, I wouldn't get bearish off that. The only way that I get bearish on Bitcoin is if we actually break back down below the yellow 21 exponential moving average on the daily right here. So right now you can see that this 21 exponential moving average has been just governing price action all the way up, even with these very aggressive moves to the downside. I mean, it's still, it still gets picked up and we still do create some higher lows along this area. So to me, that is very obvious and clear signals that the Boston algos are still on the buy side, and they have been on the buy side for quite some time. So a lot of people talking about, Bitcoin to 8,500, no, Bitcoin to 7,000, no, Bitcoin to 3,000, and go fuck yourself as well while you're at it. Well, I'd say that's demeaning, but also, it's good for your health as well now, isn't it? So, but not for your financial health, if that's actually what is going to happen. So my point is that when we look at something like this, to me, this is a clear and obvious signal that the big market movers are still on the buy side, and the trend is still your friend, and the trend is still very much to the upside. A medium-term time frame target's going to be actually right around this kind of prior local high right here, right around 13,000 actually, which we pretty much hit during the early morning hours at 12,850, and a little bit more longer term. I think 14,000 certainly very much in the cards. And here's the thing: we're actually going to be setting in a two-day dildo time frame later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time as well, which is again just in an hour actually. So I'm really liking this time frame now, and so in just about an hour we will set this one in stone. If we close this two-day dildo anywhere above 12,100 or even above 12,000, I'm bullish, and I'm looking for this move to continue on. Price target from a two-day dildo time frame perspective, which again that's gonna it's gonna take its time. It's not gonna happen in the snap of a Nicholas Martin's fingers right there, but I'd say about 14,000. Very likely, and then probably beyond after that. This is kind of its own little sloppy flag. It's like a sloppy Joe flag. We can make a measure move off this. I'm curious what it would actually suggest right here. This would be a very crude way of doing it. It actually suggests 14,000. So yeah, I do think that 14,000 still very much on the table. If we go over to a daily, we do see that this is kind of it's kind of a very ugly cup in hand. A pattern trader would scold me for saying that, but I don't even care about pattern trader to begin with. But I have noticed that on cryptocurrencies we get these more sloppy and ugly patterns that seem to play out, and that's just we're dealing with cryptocurrencies. We're dealing with cryptocurrencies. We're bad boys. We're hanging out in mommy's basement, and we create these sloppy patterns because we don't give a fuck about those traditional dumb patterns. Well, anyways, looking at this right here, could you make a measure move off this? Again, I'm doing assumptions, which is extremely bad. This is not good technical analysis. Do not listen to what I'm about to say. But if I have noticed that this has worked out in the past, and realistically, what's the potential target going forwards here? About 14,600, 14,500ish region. A little bit more long term, to be fair. But yeah, I do think that Bitcoin is kind of shaping up here. All higher time frames looking good to me for continuation. Daily has already gotten continuation above this hammer dildo right here, if you want to call it that. And more importantly, this that past week's dildo was a clear and obvious signal as well. We only came down to the 9 exponential, which is now represented by the yellow moving average right here. And to me, not to me, but in traditional markets, my mentor would use this on the weekly and daily to judge strength of trend. And when you're in a strong trend, you'll typically only come down to that area and it'll get picked up. And this is very obvious right here, just like we had an example right here, and we just kind of rose up around it in March as well. But you do see that Bitcoin tested basically just grazing it and then immediately getting picked up. That is telling us what the big what the big market movers, the people who actually move this market, are doing. The people with big pockets. I'm talking about hundreds of millions, in some cases even $1 billion. So looking at this, looking fine to me. Of course, it is worth mentioning that we are kind of grazing, we're actually above the top Trollander band right now, aren't we? No, we're not. We're a few bucks below it. It's 12,590 actually officially. So my point is that hey, when I'm looking at something like this, I do want to be aware of this, because the fact is that we're damn close to the top trolling band. And when we kind of spend some time within this region, it's very, 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 very likely that we actually do start pushing it. Now, technically speaking, you do actually want to see a weekly digital closure above the top trolling band, and if that does happen, it would suggest that we're actually just beginning a trend to the upside, which would set in a more longer term time frame targets, much higher. Again, I'm sounding like a fucking permabull of permables. And it's true. I mean, honestly, it's true. I've been a permabull in a bull market, so fucking, fucking cook me up and eat me, baby. Need to eat some bear meat too. I like bears though, man. They're like little fluffy Winnie the Poohs, except they will literally kill you and not give a fuck. And they'll eat you asshole first too, is what I hear. So not a good thing. Anyways, but I do have something in common with bears. I really like salmon. So you gotta take what you like and discard what you don't like, right? Anyways, looking at this right here, again, looks to me like it wants to trend to the upside. We do have a few warning signals. We do have weekly stokes coming down, yes. And that hasn't been, good news for the bulls in the past, especially coming out of this region. But I would go with the trend until told otherwise, just because regardless of those oscillators, they can get up and stay high, and they can be high for a very long time. It's not until we get a full on reversal dildo formation on heavy volume and preferably heavy volatility, especially on like a weekly or something, which we can actually yes, we can populate volatility on a weekly. It's still relatively on the lower side. Is when I start to call like a legitimate reversal, like a reversal, talking about 40% move to the downside, perhaps, kind of similar. And also, probably going to be confluent with the 3-day jewel as well, which I've been covering up a lot. I don't want to do the full on explanation here, just because I don't want to bore people, and you probably already know. But looking at 3-day jewel right here, we do see that it's kind of just being walked up. If we get the light blue oscillator into this critical zone here, outlined by the red dotted trend lines, that's where I'd start to look for, major massive pullbacks, as we've seen in the past, actually accurately getting it pretty much each and every time for Bitcoin's history. If we backtest it right here, you'll see that all of these signals match up. And sorry, the actual signal itself is when we get, come on, baby, is when we get the light blue oscillator into the critical zone, outlined by these red dotted trend lines, get red flash in the background, and then get a negative slope on this oscillator. And then we see price action have these pretty nasty dumps. So, again, I'll just do one right here. I don't want to go through all of them, but just trust or look at, or don't trust, verify. Look at the older videos where I have the patience to go through all of them. But I can tell that my patience has been really, really worn down recently, probably due to the lack of sleep, and also just due to the frustrations of not having access to my main computers and whatnot. I feel like I probably haven't treated some people that in a way that I want to be treated, or sorry, in a way that I should have treated them. So if you do feel like I've been a little bit short towards you, or a little bit brief, in my messages on something like Discord, I do apologize about that. There's no excuse really for something like that. But man, it is just no, I shouldn't even say anything. There's no excuse. Anyways, with regards to this, 3-day structure looks good to me. It does look like we're, looks like we're resolving a consolidation right here. We do see 3-day RSI actually breaking back above the exponential right here. So it's building divergence. There's gonna be some pretty nasty bearish divergence here, but until we actually set it in, until we get the next local high, still technically not. It's not playable. Just like the 3-day jewel. Yeah, it's getting up there, but until we actually get this light blue oscillator into that critical zone, I'm not taking any one of those signals. So again, it's overall, let the trend be your friend. Let it guide, let it govern you. And I think I'll briefly talk about this as well, the good old super guppy. Just from a more long-term trending idea. And remember, we're talking about more long-term type stuff. So shorter term time frames, we're gonna have the ebbs and flows of the market as you naturally expect. But looking at the super gup right here, which is basically just a conglomeration of a shit ton of moving averages, we do see that when this thing takes on a color, it stays that color for quite some time. So green over here for a while, then red for a while, then green for a while, then red for a while, then green for a long time, then red for a long time during 2018. And we actually relatively recently just turned green for the in the last couple months. So I would say that this probably gives us at least like a year of green. I really shouldn't say stuff like that. You shouldn't make assumptions like that, but historically speaking, that has been the reaction. So So again, that's kind of what I'm looking at from this perspective. Anyways, taking this guy off, and let's get back to the lower time frames, just because I do want to focus more on like medium and lower time frame on this video. And let's put these babies back on. Here's our 4 hour. 4 hour just looks like a nice consolidation. You can see it's being walked up above the yellow, or sorry, not the yellow, but the red 10 simple. And this is again showing you that the bots and algorithms of this market are getting more and more aggressive. If we put on the trend, if we put on the drawing tools, you can see that we're just the two areas of action are these two blue boxes here. So let me actually adjust this right now. We can actually bring it from there, and let's extend it maybe out here. Extends for stamina. Just kidding. And in this guy right here. So anything within this blue box, anything, also in between this blue box territory is just consolidation. Can you play the consolidation? Yeah. I mean, we saw an example during this morning's video. We saw that wick down here. I didn't buy it myself. I didn't want to. Like I said, I'm already holding these positions. I don't have any real reason to fuck around with that. Oh my God, I'm looking at my camera right now. It really does look like I'm in the witness protection program. need one of those voice modifiers. I swear it's not what it looks like. Anyways, we're right in the middle of these two guys right now, so I don't really think it's worth taking a trade here. But the next trade that I would be looking at is anywhere, any breakage above this blue box territory right here. Then I'd be looking for the next move short term towards 13.4, a little bit more medium term towards about 14,000, and then once we get there, I'd be looking for pullbacks from both those regions, but especially from 14,000. There very likely will be some sellers there, but overall, I do think that it does get continuation onwards and upwards over time. Just like to the downside here, even if we broke back down below 12,150, I'm not looking for a full-on flooding of price action. I only look towards like legitimate bearish targets in the 4 digits once again if we break back down below 10,700. That is the magical number. In fact, it's not even 10,700 anymore. It's 10,800 now, because we just rose this bitch up another $100. It's like make that wall 10 feet higher. No, just kidding. Someone left a comment on a video earlier that like I've been getting political in my video. I hope I don't get political in my video. I'm not a political person. I don't care about politics. Again, my life's philosophy is 100% personal autonomy, not to be reliant on who's king of the world. I don't want to let that affect my life. Again, it's like, anyways, we won't get into it. So looking at this right here, you can see that we're right between these levels. So reading between two lines, so what do we see on our momentum oscillators? The good old chicken tendies. We do see 4 hour stocks actually coming down. So 3 hour and 4 hour still down, and also 2 hour as well. Although 2 hour is looking a little bit weaker and getting to the edge of the bullish control zone. So typically you do see defense played around there. But then we go to our medium time frames, right? And medium time frames are still, well, actually technically up. 6 hour getting a little bit weak, but still up. 8 hour going to be up. 10 hour going to be up. 12 hour going to be up. Daily going to be up. 2 day going to be crossing to the upside and confirming tonight. What could this mean? What could that mean? Could that mean that we might have some more upside to go? Oh shit! This is getting crazy. And looking at this right here, I do like this setup, especially from the 2 day. Anyways, go back down to the 4 hour, and let's look at our 4 hour oscillators. So yes, our 4 hour Stokes are way up here, but I don't have a problem with that. I actually like it when the Stokes stay high during strong trending moves. They're gonna do that. I mean, I really, really laugh so hard when people say, bro, those Stokes. No, people don't use the Stokes, but they use RSI. Bro, RSI. Really, really high right now. You know what that means? We can't be going higher. We gotta go down. It's like, all right, good luck with that. But looking at the RSI right here, a little bit better for trending. I would say that the RSI is actually very constructive, and the RSI is likely has a lot more room here. The RSI wants to break up higher is what it looks like to me. It's running up above the exponential and looking constructive. I like what I see, and I do think that this does give another try at the very least to 13,000, or sorry, 12,008, and probably beyond. Actually, we just ticked above 12,606 right now. Powerful Bitcoin. Show me those girthy green dildos. I want to see how big and thick you can get, man. Keep me updated on your continued progress, bro. I want to see how thick this baby gets. 12,006, 20, 29, 30. Holy fucking moly, man. Are these bulls coming back in the market? Could it be? Holy moly. Is that a green dildo bot? Oh shit. You got to keep it interesting, you got to keep it interesting, because if you're going to be looking at Magic and Net Money pixels on your computer screen all day long, better have fun with it. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. And I feel like maybe I have been going crazy a little bit recently, and that's why I've been losing my mind. Anyways, okay, so 4-hour RSI trending oscillators looking fine to me. Momentum oscillators, little bit, a little bit, a little bit up there. But like I said, I actually like that. I think that's a good signal when you're in a strong trending move. And let's go check out CME futures. What are CME futures looking like? Do we see any sort of differences here? Not really. Not really. What about on the daily? Do we see any differences here? We already got a new daily on the CMEs, and looks fine to me. Again, you could manage a very easy trade off the CMEs as well. Just use the low side of this wick right here. So look at my phone, what's going on there. And if we do take below the low of this dildo right here at 12,330, then yes, I'd be looking for a move probably back down here towards, I'm guessing this is like 11.5. But for now, the direction's up. And looking at daily stokes, we just crossed the upside. This has been confirmed, and you can see that we're defending actually at the neutral zone right here. So I do like that. Daily RSI regaining the exponential as well. This looks constructive to me. It looks like it wants to go, and I do think that this is quite powerful price action. Looking at the weekly, I mean, look at this on CMEs. This is good. That's really good. That's a good setup right there. We have a little bit of a toppy dildo right here, gets bought back up right here on a, what do you want to call this, Jesus Christ dildo, a hammer dildo, whatever the fuck you call it. It's a fucking bull wick is what it is. And now we have follow through, so it's confirmed. And we do see weekly stokes coming down, but what do I put more weight on? The one that counts for your P&L is the one that I put more weight on. Don't get me wrong though, higher time frames are building up major massive divergences. I will be looking for a major pullback on Bitcoin when those do actually line up, but it hasn't necessarily happened just yet. Let's go see how GBTC operated for the day. 1635 closure, and we have we basically look the same as spot actually, so not really anything to look at here on GBTC. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. But actually, now that I kind of have it brought up, let's actually go back to the daily Trollinger bands. We do see that the top of the Trollinger bands is coming in right around 12,950. So yeah, I would say that if Bitcoin does tick back up to 12,950, 13,000ish region, I probably do look for the first pass to be knocked down on a lower time frame, and then the games will begin. So if this next daily does close above this level here at about 13,000, we'll call it to be a little bit more conservative. Then that's when the trend really does start to begin in my opinion. Even though the trend's never changed, but when I'm talking about, momentum's the better word. Momentum really starts to begin once again, which our momentum oscillators are agreeing with that. So if we can actually close price action above that region, that would that would be the duopoly, if that's even a word, of what I'd be looking for with regards to this. Okay, let's go check out the other top shitcoins. Like I said, I'd want to keep this on a shorter side. Let's go check out gold actually. I know a lot of people are interested in gold. Let me take off the Trollinger bands here, and let me just give it a fresh look. What are you looking at on gold? Gold looks like it's being reaccumulated along the yellow 20 exponential moving average to me, and I do think that we have a lot of correlations between gold and Bitcoin. We can actually bring up the correlation coefficient really quick. Correlation coefficient, where are you, Bali Poor? Where are you, beautiful bastard? There you are, and come on. Let's actually see what the correlation is, and quite strong. So Bitcoin looking good here, probably going to correlate with correlate with gold getting picked up here, and I do think that gold works its way back towards whatever this region is here. Let me actually populate this. Yeah, I think that gold works its way back towards like 14, 15-ish region. We're basically just kind of putting in a nice little consolidation after the first major break out of like a 5 or 6 year accumulation phase, going all the way back on over here. I still think that this is overall good. I still think that overall it does reach higher towards 15, 15-ish region, but it's going to take its time, man. Gold moves like molasses. Bitcoin moves like a fucking madman who's on speed crack and a Jeffrey from Get Him to the Greek. So it's like pick your poison, right? Of course, all of the new age millennials love the Bitcoins for that reason. I myself, agree with that. I think it's a lot more fun. There's a lot more volatility. There's a lot more opportunity. But gold, kind of operates in a similar vein. Kind of. Anyways, I do think that gold probably follows Bitcoin here. I think that Bitcoin's actually leading, funnily enough. So if you are trading gold, you probably have you have the DeLorean trade in the back pocket essentially, where Bitcoin gets to move first, and then gold's probably going to follow through. So I'd say first target probably going to be right here at about 1406. Second target going to be somewhere right around about 1415, 1416. This is again gold spot versus dollar on Oanda. Okay, let's go check out Link. Link getting down to my next target towards, I think my next target is 23,000 satoshis. And did we get, we actually got to 23,500. So Do I look for a bounce here? I probably do look for a bounce here. It might make another little stab down to about 23,000, but anywhere within this region, I do think it gets a nice bounce off of. I still like Link from a more long-term perspective, but looking at the weekly, it's very obviously that we've initiated the pullback, we've initiated the reversal, and targets are now being met to the downside. So I'd give it some time. I think it's basically been moving while most things are not. So it's overall still good, but gonna be trading sideways and down for a while, I'd imagine. As I look at my phone, nope, still not important, but getting close. I feel like with each and every ticking whatever the fuck that I'm a robot, whatever noise that my phone's making, it's my computer comes closer, but it's still just messages on Discord. Anyways, Cardano, what's Cardano doing? Cardano headed down to the abyss once again, and of course, this basically represents most altcoin charts that are just, straight up, they get one massive girthy green dildo pump and then dump it on your face, baby. Distribution all the way down. And of course, I don't want to pick on Cardano too much. I know there's a lot of people who like it, but this one just represents most altcoins, and some look worse, some look a little bit better. But looking at the dominance chart, still bullish on this one, man. It's looking good to me. And if Bitcoin does move up here, you're gonna see this one explode more. I mean, I think that we just got a breakout here. We're literally about to break out on the Bitcoin dominance chart. I have a measure move pointed up towards about 69, great number, 69 to 70ish region. Daily looks good. Weekly looks good. Monthly also looks even better. So I think that alts are about to get cream pied a little bit more here. It's going to be a bouquet ceremony, and if you've watched enough anime, you already know what happens next. So when it comes down to this, I would suggest that if you're in altcoins and you're trading them versus Bitcoin, be careful. Let's go check out BNB. What's BNB doing? And now we're going to look at them versus the dollar. So for the most part, things are looking okay versus the dollar. I'm sure that Cardano looks okay versus the dollar as well, but versus Bitcoin, most things are not looking too healthy. BNB CZ coin just being accumulated off of the 32 off the 32 marker horizontal right here, also confluent with the green 50 exponential moving average. So again, I do think that this one does get picked up here, but it's a little bit on the sluggish side, so it's not leading right now. It's kind of following. But if we can actually break above 33.5 bucks, I'd have a target of 35.5, and I'd only look for a downside target if we broke below $32, and my downside target at that point would be somewhere here-ish region, right around about $30 even, and then we reassess. Zcash, what's he looking like? Zcash actually coming down. So altcoins are actually kind of looking droopy-ish here so far. We haven't looked at all of them just yet, but Zcash actually looks like it wants to come down to about $95. What else do we have? We do see daily also. It's actually pointed back down. Actually, let me take off the correlation coefficient. What's Bcash doing? Bcash is still holding above the green 50. So I do think that Bcash probably works its way towards 445, and then probably a little bit more long-term 480, 490. What about Tron Cash? Tron Cash actually up as well. So the raid is going well, I guess. And yes, it did hit our first target at about 3.5, so 3.5 cent target hit. And I do think that this one does actually get another leg up towards about 3.8, 3.9 region, somewhere right around here. I think that this is constructive. I do think that it's in the sloppy way that a lot of these things do it, but it is okay. We do see daily stocks have plenty of room. We do see daily above all major moving averages. We do see daily above exponential on the RSI, and this is just oscillating again between the bullish and the bearish, the bullish and neutral control zone. Let's look at the Neo. What's good old Neo doing? Neo down a little bit on the day as well, but just holding above the red 10 symbol. I think this one's flagging out kind of. Probably does work its way back towards $19.5. If Bitcoin moves up, you're going to see altcoins move up versus dollar. If Bitcoin moves down, you're going to see them also move down as well, most likely, except for a few outliers here and there. EOS, what's EOS doing? A little bit of a laggard as well. I'm gonna have to redraw this because it's wrong, and yep, that's definitely wrong. We're doing something like this is what it looks like to me. We're doing something like this. I really dislike diagonal trends. I like to avoid them when I can. I'm a diagonal racist, but this does look right. I think it's just getting reaccumulated along this region right here. You see all these nice wicks. So I'd kind of remain cautiously like a sloth bullish as long as we remain above this trend line, which is 570ish region. If we do break below 570, I'd be looking for a move down to about 5.25. But I do think that it kind of just rounds its way up and works back towards short-term target like 640ish region, and then probably back up towards here. Again, if Bitcoin moves up, you're going to see most of these things move up. You already know that. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. Mr. Ripley's Me Nipples did hit our first target of about, no, it did not. Oh, it did not. My first target was going to be about 43 cent. I think we're going to do the same thing as EOS here, though, kind of like grind down this area, but ultimately kind of pull through with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does switch around. What about Monero Cash? What's Monero doing? Still holding above all major moving averages. So I do give it the benefit of the doubt. Even here again, it's just a lot easier to say that's going to do whatever Bitcoin does, because that's, well, for the most part, the truth. Next major breakout above 117.25, then I'd be targeting to move. I think it's like 130ish region, 140 actually, almost 140. By the same token, I'm not bearish till we break back down below 83.5. Stellar Rumens, 10 cents. Looks like he's getting rejected once again. Looks like he wants to make another run towards this bottom trend line right here at about 9.8 cent. Doesn't look good. Definitely one of the weaker ones in this market, as you can see. Weekly is resting on the white 200 simple, which I have a rule that even though it does look bad, I would not get bearish when you're above a major moving average like that, or in a major moving average like that. What about Litecoin Cash? Let's go to the daily. I'm gonna guess it's probably holding the 50. Oh my god, it's holding the 50. It looks actually exactly like BNB, doesn't it? So yeah, a very easy way to trade this, as long as we're above the 50, which is 117. Yeah, about 117 and a half. Yeah, okay. If we drew break back above 120, what is this, 124, 123 and a half, 124, I'd be looking for a move towards 133-ish region, 135, if that were to happen. Mr. Buterol, what's Mr. Buterol doing? Looking good here. Mr. Buterol kind of following through with Bitcoin, it looks like, and we are approaching this next resistance. I do think that this is a bullish consolidation below a major resistance. Any sort of a break above 320, and I'd be looking for a first target of 332, 333, and then probably higher over time, 360 obviously, but really $400 is kind of my more long-term target right now. What else do we have? I think that pretty much does it. Do we want to look at the dollar index really quick? Yeah, sure. Why not while we're here? Dollar index is bullish right here. I do think that it works its way a little bit higher. It is right at resistance at 97.45, or sorry, spot 44. But this looks like a fake out, and everyone's getting really bearish on the dollar. So it kind of makes me think kind of the counter trade here is to actually be bullish on this. We do see momentum oscillators, the good old mommy oscillators pointed up here. We do see daily RSI breaking above the neutral zone, actually kind of breaking out here. I kind of like what I see, actually. So back on a Bitcoin 12,635 and a half. Powerful Bitcoin, very powerful Bitcoin. I have to make sure that the Krown bot is still not shooting his green dildos all across the screen. Let's actually look at the expected moves chart. Again, shout out to Bollyport for this one, the genius behind it all. And we do see the first range of expected moves, the first standard deviation, the most likely, the 68 percentile, or sorry, not 68 percentile, but 68% likelihood would be between 13,500 high, and we almost got to the low of this range at 11,800. But even that, I think, is a little bit on the lower side. I'm curious what the 30 would look like on this. I want to see the edge of the. I want to see it at. Yes, this is where I'd want to see it at basically 12,000, basically at the low of our day. This would actually make more sense here. I keep on going back and forth with do I want to use a 30 or 15? Because sometimes I swear the 30 gets it way better, and other times I swear that the 15 gets it way better. I think the 15 gets it. I think the 15 gets it better more often. Let's go in the middle. Let's kind of be in the middle of 20, a little bit. Okay. Top side would still be around that 13,400, 13,500-ish region. So again, if we did get there, I would be looking for counter trend pressure there. I'd still remain bullish overall, but I'd be looking for short-term pullbacks. And again, this right here just looking like it's kind of it's making some sort of triangular consolidation. I don't care what you call it. Again, if it breaks above this region right here, probably gonna have some sort of a measure move to this tune. And again, a very, very crude way of doing this, but it'd be pointing up towards 13.4-ish region, which I think it's getting quite kind of likely that we do work our way up towards there. But again, until we actually break that area, no real trades to be made. So I'll wrap this bitch up now and say, or as Jackie likes to say, smack my bitch up. Smack my bitch. If you know where that's from, well, we probably like the same sorts of music. But any sort of a break below 12,150, and I'm looking for a move down to 11,650. I'm not leaning towards that happening. I'm long, and I don't think that happens. But if that did happen, I would de-risk below there. By the same token, I don't get bearish until we actually break below about 10,800, the daily 21. And even then, it's like I don't necessarily look exactly for 8,500. I'd be looking for maybe like 9,500 first, and then 92, and then maybe 85. And then for the upside, which I think is a lot more likely here, if we break back above about 12.8, 12.9, I'd probably be looking for a move into this next territory towards 13.3, 13.4, which I think is a lot more likely. Looking at the higher time frames, we are bullish here. So I think over the next over the next day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever ends up being. I don't know, but I do think that we work our way up towards there. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you off with that. I want to wish you a happy girthy green dildo Tuesday night, or if red dildos, perhaps rain, perhaps some red dildos as well. But I don't like Christmas. I want just green dildos right now. So with that said, as always, wish you the best. Just wishing you well from a lovely early evening over here in Chicago, Illinois. Take care and see you soon.